This new GTA 6 leaks and info that just came out are absolutely insane. It's actually coming from an insider source that's working at a marketing agency that has been in contact with Rockstar about marketing their GTA 6 title. On top of that, we also have a few new gameplay screenshots and leaks to show off some new areas of the map that we've never seen before in some pretty good quality, so make sure you guys stick around. Lots of exciting stuff today that you're not going to want to miss. And first things first, we'll start off with a few of the new gameplay screenshots and then get into the long part of the video, which is actually the marketing agency leaks that basically revealed everything we need to know about the new game. So of course, a big shout out to my man Foths. If you guys want to join our Discord server, there's a link down in the description. We post all of our leaks and we have a pretty good community over there going on, talking about news, info, and basically it's a great way to just discuss anything GTA 6 related or connect to us that own the channel. So if you guys want to join that, make sure to go and click the link in the description. But a big shout out from Foths, who posted this in our Discord server, and as you guys can see, he says, I think the coolest thing is the new lighting. The fact everything is much darker now makes it a lot more realistic. And as you guys can see, he posted two brand new gameplay screenshots. One of these is inside of the supposed strip club, or at least one of the clubs that we're going to be able to go to in GTA 6. As you guys can see, it is Lucia walking in through the main entrance, and on the left there is a big male character that is probably one of the security guards or employees of this strip club. And the second image here shows Lucia walking out. We don't know exactly where this is located on the map. I'm not really sure if this is right outside the strip club, since that's the other image she attached, or if it's just another random part of Vice City, but it does show some of the lighting and how realistic it looks with like the light fading into pure darkness, and it just makes it look a lot more lifelike, which I think, especially if you're playing this game on new gen consoles or a crazy powerful PC, it'll look absolutely insane with maxed out settings. So this gets me very, very excited. But now diving into the bulk of the video here, which actually reveals a bunch of the characters, parts of the map, and pretty much the entire plot and storyline for GTA 6. This is coming from Ryman, who again posted this in our Discord server, which is why I definitely recommend you guys join to keep up to date. But he actually found a Reddit post from 2 years ago, and keep in mind, this was from 2 years ago, which was actually well before all of the GTA 6 gameplay got leaked and a lot of the information was officially confirmed. And after we go through all of this, you guys will realize that a lot of this information this guy said 2 years ago actually matches up perfectly with a lot of the leaked gameplay and information we have now, which is why I do think this is actually a very, very credible source, and I wanted to cover it in today's video. So to start things off, he basically says, I'm sure everyone's more than tired of these supposed GTA 6 leaks. I work for an independent marketing company who specializes in marketing AAA games and software. For the past 18 months, our team has been consulting and working with Rockstar Games for their next major title, which is obviously Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, he gives a little bit of background about it, but we're just going to go right into the actual leaks for GTA 6 as well. And like I said, this was posted 2 years ago, which was probably pretty early on in the development stages of GTA 6. So a lot of stuff in this has actually drastically changed, but the entire plot and a lot of the information he does share actually still matches up with most of the stuff that we're going to be looking at and talked about over these last few weeks. So he goes on to say, once again, the story revolves around 3 playable characters. And of course, the names are a little bit different here. These might be the original names that Rockstar was going to go with before changing it to Jason, Lucia, and Kai. But the old names were Ricardo, Casey, and Rose, which again, could have just very well been nicknames or codenames for the characters, so nothing got leaked. He goes on to say the story begins at a far slower pace than most of their other titles. Each playable character is unlocked one after the other, not dissimilar to GTA 5, though without the prologue. You begin the game as Ricardo, a low-level Cuban drug smuggler nearing middle age based in Vice City. The first act resolves solely around Ricardo. Throughout the first act, Ricardo engages in petty smuggling for a large Hispanic organization whom he's been rolling with for years. It's a business as usual, attacking rival smugglers, evading police, and getting out of tricky setups. At some point during the first act, Ricardo kills a police captain and husband of the third protagonist, Rose. This prompts Ricardo to be outlawed from his organization with a price on his head, forcing him to go into hiding. You cannot play as Ricardo during this next stage of the game, which of course, this is only one big piece, but this is also lining up perfectly with previous leaks that we actually looked at, where there was a lot of rumors that Cuba would be a playable area. Of course, he is a smuggler from Cuba based on this information, and there was also leaks that since it was based in Cuba and Miami, where the drug smuggling and drug trade was huge back in the 80s, that there would be a big part of the game focused on the cartels and drug smuggling, which again, this lines up perfectly with, even though this was released 2 years ago, well before all the new information came out. Now, he goes on to say the second act focuses solely on the second playable protagonist, Casey, a petty criminal based in Carcer City. Casey is the youngest protagonist in the GTA series, is in his early 20s. The second act takes place across Carcer City and Liberty Liberty State, Casey has a ferocious temper that often gets him into trouble. Over the next act, you work with multiple gangs and low-level criminals. Little Jacob from GTA 4 makes an appearance, but is far larger player in the criminal underworld in this title. Frustrated at his inability to move up in the criminal hierarchy mixed with some poor decisions and betrayals, Casey forms a rivalry with the Yardies gang headed by Little Jacob, referred to only as Jacob Hughes in this title. After recruiting a small crew of old acquaintances, Casey and his crew engage in small battles with the Yardies, set on bringing them down and eventually taking their place as kings of Broker. However, plans go awry and many of Casey's friends are killed. The police intercept Casey and he is sent to a federal prison, which again, this sounds like a really cool part of the storyline, and I do think it's cool, if this information is accurate, that they're actually planning on splitting it up into 3 different acts and 3 different parts. It just makes the game feel a lot more complete, and it feels like you can do it in stages without having to grind it all out at once. Then he goes on to say, Act 3 takes us back to Vice City, which is of course where a lot of us were assuming the game was going to be taking place in the first place, with events taking place before the start of the game. Ricardo and his crew are engaging in the same shenanigans they were up to prior to the first act. Eventually, word comes down from the top that one of the incarcerated leaders of their organization, whose name I am not aware of, is being transported to Cottonmouth Penitentiary, and Ricardo is one of the soldiers ordered to hijack the prison bus. As the break is happening, a cutscene shows Casey in the back of the bus. During the ensuing gunfight between Ricardo's organization and the police, Casey takes his opportunity to flee the scene. This is the first time the game presents the player with the option of switching between characters. This is done differently than GTA 5. Instead, the camera very quickly zooms across the streets to the location of the character you're switching to. It's a bit of a slower process than GTA 5 when characters are far away from each other. Throughout the rest of the mission, the player can switch between Ricardo in the gunfight and during the escape, and Casey fleeing the scene without being caught. The stealth mechanics are one of the points Rockstar drove home with this time, so expect them to be greatly improved. So this does confirm that right when GTA 6 releases, you're actually going to have to get all the way until Act 3 throughout the campaign and storyline before you're able to switch between characters, and it seems like each act is actually giving us a little bit of background and story based on each character, so it makes sense that they're not going to let us switch between them until we've been introduced and we are knowing of all 3 of the main characters, which I think is a great addition to the game, and it's really interesting the different routes Rockstar is taking with the storyline and campaign in GTA 6 compared to what they did back in GTA 5. Now, he does go on to give us a lot more information about the storyline and how it's actually going to be playing out for the rest of the game, but I don't want to get into too much details. I feel like if this information is accurate, it will spoil literally the entire game. Again, if you guys want to join the Discord, you can go and find all the original posts over there as well, but there is a more information this guy gave us that isn't really directly to the storyline, just more about the map and what we're going to be able to do in game, which again matches up perfectly with a lot of the previous leaks, which pretty much confirms them. For starters, he goes on to say GTA 6 will be the hardest game Rockstar has ever made to earn money, but will have more things than ever to spend it on, including businesses that you can actually micromanage if you choose to, vehicles. There's going to be more vehicles on launch than any previous Rockstar game, which is insane. There is going to be a working stock market, properties, gambling, RNK's empire, and then he goes on to give us more information about the actual map. He goes on to say the map is reportedly the size of GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 combined, which is absolutely massive. It will consist of Vice City, Cottonmouth, Carcer City, Liberty State, lots of swamps and country surrounding Vice City, unnamed South American wilderness, and city in the surrounding areas, which again, based off the previous leaks that we've actually looked at literally in the last few weeks, a lot of them were hinting at the fact that Rockstar was going to be launching this game with a few different areas that you can go on the map. So the fact there's going to be 3 different cities and also a bunch of swamp in between, this matches up perfectly, and I do think that this is a very reliable and pretty confirmed source. So of course, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. There is so much information that we just went through in today's video. I know it was a lot. Hopefully you guys were able to take it all in, and of course, let us know your feedback down in the comment section below. We'd love to know your thoughts and theories based on this information. How accurate do you think it is? If it is accurate, do you think this is going to be a good storyline for GTA 6? We'd love to know your guys' feedback. Make sure you guys subscribe, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, my friends.